Hi, Piva.
Right. Yeah, Mr. Sharath, you're not clear at sometimes. So just I'm not sure it's a problem with the connection, but sometimes your what you're saying is breaking a little bit.
Okay, so still it's breaking or now clear? Still break.
Now it's okay. I think now it's okay.
Okay, Piva. So, could you please tell me something about yourself, please?
Yes. So yeah, my name is Piumal Pereira again. So I'm from a family of four. My father is a hotelier in Middle East, so has been in Qatar for some time, UAE for some time, and then Bahrain. Now he's into finance, and he's currently the finance director at Sofitel Al Wadi in Qatar. My mother is a housewife. She has been a housewife throughout, and I have a younger brother who is 25 years old now. So he just passed out of the local university here in Sri Lanka. He's into equity market research. So he's just started working with a for an equity firm in Colombo. And about myself, I studied at St. Peter's College. It's a Catholic school, premier Catholic school in Sri Lanka. So I studied there till my advanced level. I did my advanced level in science stream, followed biology, chemistry, and physics. Was not very successful. My idea was to become a doctor, but didn't work out as planned. So I straight away switched to commerce stream to do my bachelor's. So I chose American National College to do an internal degree from Northwood University, affiliated to US. So did my bachelor's there, Bachelor of Business Administration from Northwood University. So the 4-year degree. I was able to complete it within 3 years and start my internship with the apparel sector in Sri Lanka, which is the most prominent sector in terms of employment and in terms of revenue being Sri Lanka. So I started off with Hydrogen International Exports. It's a fully owned Sri Lankan apparel manufacturer and exporter. I started off with an intention of just completing my internship and figuring my way through the corporate world. I didn't have an intention of doing HR straight away, but that's how I started, and then I moved on to do my internship there. And once I was into my internship for 3 months, I knew when I felt that HR is my area that I should follow, and that's my passion, and that's where my strengths lead me. So that's how it has been. About I have 7 years experience in HR now, and I'm enjoying my career so far.
Okay, that's great. So, HR is your passion, right? So, why HR? Why do you think that HR is your passion, and why did you choose HR as your career?
Yes. So as it turned out, I'm a very people-oriented person. I'm a good listener, and I believe that that's the key in terms of doing HR. You should always listen, and you should be always available for your employees. That's the key, and it's not acting upon what they request or what their intentions are, but merely listening to them makes a huge impression, a huge change in their thought process. So I believe for me to do HR, that's I believe I'm very confident that I can do something to any employee that comes across to me for any side of a reason. So that's what I believe. So I don't turn I would not turn them away without a solution for them. And if I can't provide them with a solution, I would always direct them for someone who can provide the solution for them. So that's what I believe. In terms of doing finance or marketing or something other than HR, I believe that adds a lot of value to an organization. I believe even though in Sri Lanka the culture and the corporate culture still seems to be there's no very much significance given to HR function as of yet. But I think with the current situation, with the current trends in the talent sourcing and retention and everything when it comes to staffing and resourcing talent, uh, I believe they should start seeing it. So that's why I believe my talent and my strengths would benefit me if I do HR. So that's why I chose to do HR.
So, what particular roles you are playing in your current organization?
I didn't get you, Shada.
Questions: what kind of activities you are doing in HR in your current organization? Are you clear? Are you clear now?
Yeah, what you're asking is as far as activities that I've done at my current employer, right?
You are currently doing actually.
ER activities. Hello.
Hello. Yes,
It
you
was
got
not.
the right. Please continue.
Could you please repeat the question, Shada? It's not very clear to me.
Okay. Is it my network issue is breaking or is you couldn't understand my voice or what's the problem?
It's little bit not clear. I can hear you. It's not very clear between the
Can,
la
can,
between
can,
the.
can you hear some kind of background noise or something like that?
Yes, there's some sort of lag. I think, Shahada. Shall I connect again? Or shall I something?
Okay, so let me check. Please, what actually I was asking that what particular activities you are doing in your current organization as a HR professional? What are you doing right now?
All right. So yeah, my role was I had luckily during my career experience, so I had an overall experience in terms of HR functions. So I started off with payroll administration. So I did payroll for about 400 staff employees. So from the variables to inclusions, exclusions from the payroll and everything I was handling since my internship. And then I got a chance to move into talent development. So I was able to get experience into learning and development initiatives from the point of budgeting to the training needs analysis, and then also moving on to the executional part of the training needs analysis. So that part was done. That was back at Hydromony. And then I was given the task of executing and then fine tuning the performance management function at Hydromony as well. So, but I didn't involved in the development part. Development was already done, and I was just execution. I did the execution part at Hydromony. So we did the second managed like a middle level goal sheets, and then moved on to measure them. We didn't have a system, unfortunately, back then, so it was a manual process. So quarterly it was done, and then at the end of the year, the total I would say like the weighted average was taken towards the end of the financial year. So that part was also done, and then I took a decision to move out of that employer, and I moved to a smaller scale Apple manufacturer where I got the full ER exposure. So I was the operational link between the head office and the two factories they were handling. So the manufacturing units, I was the ER person mainly for the employee relation active, like the initiatives, like all the queries that we had with the labors, and then the labor tribunal issues, the legal issues that came up in the factories, and also all the implementation level, the recruitments, and then also the retention plans from the and also the what do you call the employee pulse surveys and everything was I was handling. So that was a good experience for me to get the hands-on experience on the operations side. And then I moved to my current employer, which is Hella Clothing, also an apparel organization. So I've been throughout apparel all these 7 years of my career. So that there also I started off with the L&D pillar part of it, and then from the budgeting, and then the TNAs and everything, and then also the performance management pillar again. So that was my expertise area. And then during the COVID period in Sri Lanka, we had to uh, lay off few employees. So then I had to take on the operational aspects of it. So entire COVID management operations, and then also the entire end-to-end recruitment parts, and everything was handed over to me. So currently I'm functioning as the head of my department, HR, so I'm overseeing the entire spectrum of HR functions, from recruitment, hiring and firing, the employee lifecycle management, and then also the L&D pillar of my SBU. I have about 70 blue collar workers, and then also about 400 white collar workers currently under my HR department. So I have a team of about three.
Could you tell me what do you mean by an organization's retrenchment and retrenchment strategies?
If you could elaborate that question a little bit, Sharat.
My question is, what do you understand by an organization retrenchment and retrenchment strategies?
Recruitment strategies. Yeah.
Retrenchment,
So
retrenchment and retrenchment strategies. Have you ever heard about retrenchment?
recruitment.
Retrenchment,
No.
yes.
To be honest with you, Sharat, I'm not very familiar with that word.
Retrenchment means to reduce the size or diversity of an organizational operations. Anyway, uh, uh, what is 360-degree performance appraisal? Can you tell me?
Yes, so we have that currently also with my organization. So what we do is we just not rely on like management of like just managing on the objectives, but we rely on the a 365 360 degree review of the designated employee. So we take the review we do the review with their immediate managers and then their peers and then their subordinates. And also we go into line with their suppliers or clients that they deal with. And then we give them an overall score depending on the 360 feedback they get from the different stakeholders that they deal with.
Okay, so I understand it's very easy to get feedback from colleagues, uh, from the boss, maybe. So, how do you collect feedback from the customers? What is your process of collecting feedback from customers? So, third party.
Yes, so we have this Sharat. So currently what we do is we have the customer satisfaction index that we use. So we currently rely on that. So all the customers, all the array of customers, and we have a separate supplier satisfaction index as well. So depending on the whether it's a customer or a supplier, we send them a questionnaire where they will fill it, and then they will be indexed according to the uh, criteria on the customer satisfaction index. So, and we'll be giving them a point for them to carry forward in their performance review. So that's the measurement that we use for the component for 360-degree appraisal on suppliers and customers.
Okay, okay, interesting. So, how do you conduct TNA? Could you just tell me the process of conducting TNA?
Yes, so the TNA at there are many ways that we have done it, but to be honest with you, and to be like but I believe it's the always the it should be linked heavily with the performance management system, which is there at the organization. So at the performance management reviews and the appraisals, the learning outcomes should get highlighted and then brought forward towards of making of a trainees analysis for the coming year, so that we can do the proper budgets allocations and then the funds allocations and do proper draw up of plans for training and development initiatives and then execute them. But what we currently practice is Shahadat. So what we do is we I have a very fairly a smaller team compared to manufacturing unit. It's a head office, so I have a very small team. So what I do is I sit with each HOD and then I go through the performance improvement plan that we have for each employee, and from that I highlight the critical areas of development that they have, and then we categorize them into those areas of development. For example, if we say it's language development, and also if soft skills development, if we say like let's say Microsoft Excel or that analytical skills development. So we categorize them into the levels, and then we pull them into batches, and then we conduct trainings for them. So the TNA is basically it's very fun.
Any kind of training calendar in the beginning of the year, or do you have anything like that?
Yes. So with actually we started this online training concept and the learning platform after this COVID wave, COVID pandemic that we had. So we couldn't rely with the in-house and the physical trainings anymore. So we started publishing the calendar. So we had set general programs set towards the calendar, like 3 to 4 online trainings set spread throughout the month. So they could register themselves, but it was not forced to them. But they could register. It was by choice.
Okay,
Yeah,
understood.
that's how it
So
happened.
I've got it that you actually get data from the performance appraisal process regarding tell you which person needs which kind of training. Anyway, so after conducting training, for example, one person needs that training, you have conducted it, and how do you evaluate the effectiveness of the training program? For example, you have done training, then how actually he's performing and what kind of uh, uh, outcome the organization have after the training. So how do you evaluate the effectiveness?
Yes. So what we do is what I currently practice is Sharat. So what we have if it is a technical or more as like a technical training that they went through, we have the pre and post evaluations that they have. So what we do is we give them the same sort of exercise
Mhm.
before the training and then after the training. So that's like a direct outcome that we can measure out of the program. So direct
So
the
it's a kind
absorption
of
of.
question papers, or what kind of test do you conduct actually before the training and after the training?
Yes. So, for example, let's say I recently conducted a mechanical training. So it is for our mechanics. We have machine mechanics who repair machines on a daily basis. That their job is to repair machines that breaks down during the manufacturing process. So what we did was we give them a new when there are new innovations that comes in. So we give them a machine before the broken machine, before like the same fault a machine before the examination, and then after the training also we give them a machine with the same uh, issue, and we evaluate the time that they take, because the time is critical. They can't be taking more than what they should take for to repair a fault in a machine. So we measure the time, and we measure the quality of their work, and also the safety aspect of the remedy that he did for the machine as well. So like that. And if we say if it's an Excel examination, Excel training that you're looking for, so we have a set uh, maybe like an exam on Excel. So we give them the exam before the training, and then also the same exam after the training. And if it is a behavioral training, again, Shahadat, we strongly believe in, like, let's say I allocate someone on to a leadership program, and then let's say towards the end of the quarter, we do the review again, and we compare the level of like the score he has scored on the leadership piece after the training. So I would say the performance rating on leadership skills before the training, and then also, and then in the next review on the what is the score, the HOD and the 360 degree appraisal score on leadership that employee have received.
Okay. Okay. So can you tell me about succession planning?
Yes.
And
So
is there any practice of this kind of succession planning in your organization?
yes. So I think similar to because you disclosed me that this what I'll be interviewed for a ship making to the shipbuilding industry. So it's quite similar, not from the I would say the operation wise, but the nature of the industry is similar. We have highly technical staff. So we have to retain them, and we have to make sure that they stick with us for a longer tenure, because these are a lot of intellectual properties are there within the organization. So we completely rely on the 9 box model here in my organization currently, Shahada. So uh, what we do is we map the talent to the 9 boxes, and then we for the I'm not saying we just neglect the people who in the downmost boxes, but on the topmost and the people who we need to train, and people need to groom more, we show extra effort to them. And then so the training and development initiatives are much more focused on
Okay,
the
okay.
middle.
Humal, I don't know. I could make myself clear on that. My question is, what is succession planning actually? So please tell me, what do you understand by
All
succession
right.
planning?
Sure. Yeah. So my understanding about succession planning is it's to do with, like, if you have a critical role, scarce resource, or maybe like a scarce resource as an human talent,
Mm.
we plan ourselves to, like, some successes down the line, or maybe their
Mhm.
reportees to succeed them one day. So they
Do
cannot
you do
immediately,
you do
can
you
be
feel
immediate.
that every position needs this kind of succession planning, or only few positions that really critical that succession planning need to be done only for those positions? What is
Yeah.
your
My
opinion?
understanding is every position is needed, because I would say can be, like, the criticality, or the maybe like the prioritization can differ. But if it is like a very scarce resource, the prioritization is high. But I think every, like, the critical roles, and not like the menial levels, but at least the manager levels, and then the other top levels needs to have a succession planning, because that's like also the drive the lower level employees have,
Okay.
also like
So
part of the drive
do
there.
you have any kind of succession planning process in your organization? How do you actually
Yeah,
do this?
yeah. So what we do is, like I said, it's the 9 box model that we use. So what we do is we biannually we evaluate our talent pool, and then we map them according to the 9 boxes, and then we uh, completely like, show our, like, put them across, like the people who in the middle layers who can be developed to the top level, like the top performers and the star players. We completely focus our training on them, and then if there are already star players, we look at, like, mapping them to their successive levels, next level. So we try to give them that exposure and the knowledge piece, and also the experience piece, for them to move on to the next level. So that's the one we have. So we are planning to make it quarterly as well, because of the current, like, it's very dynamic environment. People take very quick decisions in terms of their career. So we believe, like, biannual is also not very effective enough. So we are trying to move it to a quarterly review. So where we map them and change their positions within the 9 boxes on a quarterly basis, and then we have a more I would say dynamic plan on succession for them.
Okay, okay, okay. Thank you so much. So, what is your understanding about competency mapping? Do you do anything like that in your organization right now?
Yes, so our competency mapping is also part of the organizational goal sheet as well. So we have some competencies mapped into different departments in terms of their function. So mapping is actually, I've not got involved into a critical level. So we got our competency mapping done from Deloitte, and we have been working with them to map our talent pool according to the competencies that they have mapped to the organization, and then to the departmental levels as well separately. So the technical competencies to the department wise, and then the behavioral competencies we have mapped to the organization, where it's uniform to all employees, and then the level of measurement is differed according to the level of the employee. For example, from a worker to middle level manager and the high level manager. So the level of measurement differs.
Okay, can you tell me what is the use of job analysis?
Job analysis is to do with uh, what we normally do a job analysis before we do a job description to understand what is the requirement that they have, like the job, what are the tasks that they have to perform on a day-to-day basis, and then what is the reporting line should be, and then what is the criticality of this job, whether this can be clubbed with another job or it has to be a individual role that has to be there, and also the level of qualifications and what are the most necessary qualifications, is there any licenses that is to be have. Everything is to identify during the job analysis. So that is the most critical part of coming up with a new job role in an organization. And then depending on the analysis that we do, we can come across and create a proper job description, which will be again converted into a job advert, and then all the other, like maybe like recruitment approval form,
Mhm.
something like that. So that's how it works.
Okay, very good. Okay,
Yeah.
so uh, 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 can you tell me about the manpower planning process of your, how do you plan manpower plan or workforce plan?
Yes. So I've been unfortunate. I've been only in apparel. So what our manpower planning really happens is according to the order book that we have. So uh, let's say we have an order book about we deal in hours, production hours. So let's say if it is a 10,000 hour year that we'll be having, so we do the manpower planning accordingly. So we have this direct indirect ratio that we have to maintain. So direct is the people who is directly involved in the organization, and people like HR and all the other supportive functions will be in indirect. So our manpower planning solely depends on the number of hours that an individual plays. For example, if it is 10 people, if it is 10,000 hours, if it is 10 people, and then likewise, it is separated. So we do not take the overtime calculation. It is purely depending on the business requirement and the sudden changes that is happening on the business. But our planning is purely focused, and also the number of indirects, the shared service or the support staff is a ratio which we strictly follow from the current the direct to indirect ratio. So our current is 0.7 for one direct employee.
Okay, so Pimal, so you are in the manufacturing industry, and I believe that disciplinary issues are very common here. You may have to
Yeah, yeah.
conduct a lot of disciplinary actions or something like that. So, can you tell me the grievance process of your organization? How do you do that?
Yes. So the grievance process is actually I can it's twofold. It can come through their immediate line manager, or else directly to me. In my instance, so in my organization's instance, it can directly come to me, or else it can come through the departmental path as well, through their immediate line manager. So whichever the path that it comes across, it is my duty to ensure that I maintain fair grounds for both the parties. So first and foremost is I get to both all the parties involved, and I get them to tell me the issue and the concern, what was the incident that happened, and I take them through what happened and then do some questioning rounds, and I get very detailed statements from them, from both the parties. And then after reviewing their statements, I proceed with the show cause letters in terms of what prompted them to act in that way, and I write to them. And if a temporary discipline action is required, like suspension until the show cause response to the show cause is given, I take temporary actions like suspension for 1 week, or else not like sending them home immediately without returning back notice, something like that. And then I send them the show cause letters. If they are at home, I send them to their home, and then I get them to reply to it. And then depending on their show cause, I act upon their show cause and then rectify. if required, and if it is like a very new scenario, or it's like if it is an instance where I need legal assistance or legal counsel, I contact my legal counsel, the company lawyer, in terms of labor issues. And even if he says, like, if it is not advisable for him also, we have our consultant lawyers that we work with, and I work with them in the show on the show cause letters as well, and then we take new actions according to them. If it is a case with HR, if it is like an inquiry or a concern within HR department itself, we directly direct them to our consultant lawyers. It is not taken into the normal path. It is a separate path that we have.
Okay. Okay, so probably is going to be my last questions. Could you please tell me what is the difference between, sorry, not the difference, what is the relationship between motivation and reward?
All right. Motivation and reward. I would say the relationship is somewhat. It is always not motivation. I'm not saying the reward can be. There are different type of rewards. You can monitor. It can be uh, non-monetary. So, but I think it's the majority would say, like, higher the rewards, higher the motivation. But it is always not the motivation is not solely dependent on the reward factor only. It is to do with the culture of the people, and then the role itself. It has to be good, and it has to be satisfying for motivational factor. It is, I would say, for motivation, reward is just one factor, and there are multiple factors affecting it other than rewards.
Mm. Okay, okay, Pimal, thank you. Thank you so much for joining this session. It was really nice talking to you. And I hope the best of luck for the next round. Okay, so take care.
All right. Thank you very much, Radat, for your time as well. And sorry about the last time I couldn't make it because I had to run out to a factory visit.
No, no
So
problem.
other
No
than
problem.
that, thank you very much for your time, Sadat.
Okay,
And thank
thank
you
you.
for reaching out.
Okay, thank you. Take care, everyone.
Thank you very much. Good night. Thank you.